Beneath the scorching sun of Oloran village, an ancient baobab tree stood, its twisted roots like gnarled fingers gripping the earth. The villagers whispered that it held the wisdom of the ancestors, but only those with a pure heart could hear its voice. Many had tried, warriors, chiefs, and even the king himself. But the tree remained silent. Kina, a young orphan with a heart full of curiosity, often sat beneath its massive trunk, listening to the wind rustling through its leaves. He had no riches, no family name, and no place in the village's grand affairs. But he listened. One fateful evening, as the last rays of sunlight painted the sky in hues of amber, the tree spoke. Its voice was deep, like the echo of 1,000 years. When the river runs dry, the truth will rise. Seek the hidden, and the lost shall return. The village of Olorun had always been blessed with fertile lands and an abundant river. But one morning, the villagers awoke to horror. The great river had vanished. The once mighty waters were now a cracked bed of dust. Crops withered, livestock perished, and panic spread like wildfire. King Oba Alaid summoned his council. His advisors, greedy men draped in gold, suggested brutal measures: tax the poor, raid neighboring villages, sacrifice to the gods. None of them sought the true cause of the disaster. A stranger, draped in a tattered cloak, stepped forward from the gathered crowd. "The river has not dried of its own will," he said. "Something ancient has been disturbed." The king scoffed, and the guards dragged the man away. But Kina, watching from the shadows, knew the baobab had spoken the truth. That night, Kina returned to the tree. "Tell me what I must do," he whispered. The wind stilled. Then a whisper. "The river was sealed by a broken oath. Only the one with the forgotten blood can set it free." Kina's breath caught. Forgotten blood? Did this mean his past was not what he thought? The village elder, a blind seer, revealed the truth. Kina's parents had once been powerful guardians of the river, exiled for defying a sacred order. His bloodline was tied to the land. The king had erased their names from history, fearing their knowledge. Determined to restore the river, Kina embarked on a treacherous journey to the Forbidden Lands, where the river spirit was said to be imprisoned. Unbeknownst to him, he was followed by General Baku, the king's most ruthless warrior. In the dense jungle, Kina encountered Aja, a trickster with a silver tongue and shifting loyalties. "You seek the spirit, but do you know what it asks in return?" Aja taunted. Kina ignored the warning and pressed on. As they ventured deeper, eerie whispers filled the air. Shadows moved unnaturally. Something was watching. At the heart of the Forbidden Lands they found the river spirit, a being of shimmering water, chained to the dry riverbed. Its sorrowful eyes met Kina's. "The river did not disappear," it said. "It was imprisoned by greed. Your ancestors swore to protect me, but they broke their oath. The river can flow again, but only if one of their blood offers their life in return." Kina's heart pounded. He was the last of his line. The sacrifice was his to make. Just as Kina prepared to offer himself, General Baku emerged, blade drawn. "You will not be the hero of this tale, boy," he sneered. "The king sent me to ensure the power remains his." Aja smirked from the shadows. "You mortals are always so predictable." Then, a shocking revelation. Aja was no ordinary trickster. He was the true guardian of the river, testing Kina's heart all along. Baku lunged at Kina, but in a swift move, Aja summoned a wave of shimmering water, drowning the traitor. Kina, bloodied but determined, placed his hand on the spirit's chains. Instead of death, a different price was taken. His name, his place in history would be erased, just as his parents had been. The river roared back to life. As Kina returned to the village, the people rejoiced. But when they looked upon him, they saw only a stranger. The baobab whispered its final words. "Some heroes are remembered. Others become the stories that keep the world alive." And with that, Kina vanished from the pages of history. but the river flowed forevermore.